The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Mid-Carolina Service Company.
Mid-Carolina Service Company is the first name to search for your residential or commercial HVAC needs in Lexington and surrounding areas.
Just go holler at Jason and Clint. They'll hook you up on the air conditioners, on the restaurant equipment, refrigerators, refrigeration, ice machine repair. They've been doing this for years. I know them cats forever.
Family owned and operated since 2006, they pride themselves in their quality work and customer relationships. Call 803-356-4153 or visit midcarolinaserviceco.com for a no obligation quote for service today. This episode of Hilltop Glove Podcast is proudly sponsored by Your Dollar Store, located at 3017 Farrell Road in Columbia, South Carolina. Owned by Brian Thomas, Your Dollar Store has been serving the community since June 2021 with a mission to provide fresh produce and essential household items to neighborhoods in need, serving areas like Booker, Washington Heights, and other nearby locations affected by grocery store closures. Your Dollar Store is a convenient one-stop shop for those seeking healthier food options and affordable essentials. Support a local business that's dedicated to giving back. Your Dollar Store, where you can shop, chat, and leave with a smile.
The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by True Brilliance Entertainment.
True Brilliance is a production, promotions, and management company dedicated to connecting artists and producers across the Carolinas to music industry professionals.
Several of their clients have placements both domestic and internationally as a result of their services.
Are you an artist or producer looking to build meaningful relationships within the music industry? Then True Brilliance is for you. Check them out at paramilitary.com. That's spelled P-A-I-R-A military.com.
Welcome to the Hilltop Glove Podcast.
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 The Hilltop Glove Podcast.
Welcome to the Hilltop Glove Podcast. Today's guest is a past guest, but also a longtime friend of the pod and outside of the pod as well. Gerard Gripp Richardson is a dynamic force in the world of cinematography and music production. Hailing from Columbia, South Carolina, Gripp has carved out a niche for himself as a skilled jib crane operator, music producer. That's how I originally met him, and entrepreneur. His passion for capturing stunning visuals and creating captivating audio experiences has led him to establish Gripp Type Productions, a company renowned for its excellence in professional jib operation and cinematography. Gripp's impressive career is marked by his Emmy Award win in 2021. A testament to his exceptional talent and dedication to his craft. His expertise has been showcased on some of the world's biggest stages, including his role as a jib operator for the Winter Olympics. And that was that in Korea?
That was in Korea, Russia, and Beijing.
Yeah, okay, that's right. Yeah. Sochi, right? Was that the Sochi?
Yeah, Sochi was the first.
Okay, yeah. Cool. Yep, Gripp has collaborated with iconic musicians, working on live performances for legendary acts such as Red Hot Chili Peppers and Kanye West. In today's episode, we'll delve into Gripp's journey in the cinematography world, exploring the skills and techniques he has to capture the perfect shot. We'll learn about the intricacies of jib operation and how Gripp's keen eye for detail and innovative approach have set him apart in the industry. How are you doing, Gripp?
How am I doing? I do it well.
Good.
That's what I do. But I'm wonderful. I'm in one piece. Still in one piece.
Excellent, man. Like I said, of course, we follow you on social media. Of course, posting. You have, like I said, amazing life, amazing journey, and the work that you do is very key when it comes to production. It's one of those things that people don't think about when they're watching TV, right? Especially when it comes to things with live action, right? They don't think about the importance of a jib operator in helping to communicate that experience. So what that experience would look like if there was no such thing as a jib operator.
Right.
Yo, man.
Right.
What would it look like?
Yes.
Oh, no, man. Hey, that right there is a unique question. First off, thank you guys for inviting me out to be here. You know, this is such a pleasure, you know, to be here for a second chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think you are our first returning guest, right?
No, you know what? I think it was, no, he's our second because Queen was the first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing to be in that lineup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that means that you guys are doing something and you have a community. That's important. And I would say, think about community without unity. And there your shots are.
Yeah, that's it.
That's film production without a jib.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because it brings motion.
Yep.
And motion is, you know, moving as a unit. It's a unique thing, you know, to pretty much be a part of something, you know. So, I mean, this community without unity, that will be that.
That's a good way to put it.
I know that you ever since, you know, being at Tiffany's J's live performance at ETV and seeing you actually put together the jib and the intricate parts of it, I have a whole new profound like look on everything. So every movie I'm looking, I'm like, yep, that's the jib shot. You see that zoom in, that zoom out. I said, you see that flow? So let me tell you, you guys, he's a genius. I've never the way you explain it and the way you break it down, because I even took your training.
Right.
And it's easy. It's not easy, but it's like you're engaged and you're like, okay, what each piece plays a role in building the crane.
Yes. Again, I'm constantly thinking about multiple things coming together to make one thing happen.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm thinking community and unity, because what happens is you have to make it a part of you. And first you got to find out who you are. Like what's my dial on the radio?
Yeah.
I mean, it can't be everybody else's dial. It got to be my dial.
Yeah.
So what is it? And it's finding that out. And you know, it's just putting all that stuff and to put it into, I would say, a product. It's the Gripp, even though it's in the Gripp department, but it's actually the Gripp. And, you know, when you look and when you think about Gripp and when you break it down, which I'll kind of, go and expound a little later, but it's the groove, rhythm, instrument, pattern, and phrases. The groove first is the way. Yeah. It's the way that it goes. So without knowing the way, listen, get out the way. When you don't understand how something goes. So it's just really finding that out and making it a part of you. You know what I mean? It has to become one. Like, I mean, this mic, even though I know it's here, but I can't just be grabbing it and constantly paying attention to it and moving it around like, okay, am I? No, it's a part of me now. So I made it a part of me. So that's really the same thing in the concept with that machine, because it will be intimidating. Think about a big, bulky bully. Yeah. It's intimidating. I'm not even going to promise you. I know for a fact he's suffering or she suffers. And they suffering from a serious place of disorderment, no unity in their community, meaning themselves, you know, what's going on within themselves. Yeah. So it's really just slowing it down and making everything a part of yourself in order for it to, you know, operate at its best.
So with that said, because like I said, I know because there are a lot of people who probably watch this interview or just learning about you for the first time. Right. So if you could you just share us a little bit about your story?
My story. Interesting. I tell you what, I literally changed my voice up because you have to own your voice. You have to own your voice. And if you don't own your voice, someone else does. And if someone else owns your voice, then don't guess what? Your story it's going to always be a fake story because you don't even own the property. Yeah. Someone else owns your voice. So first off is finding out what's your voice. Yeah. And I had to find out what my voice was. Growing up in a family of 14 siblings. And I ended up in the 12th. Wow. Out of the 14.
So how many were in the house at the same time? Okay.
14. Plus 2. Plus 2. Hold on.
Wow.
And then I'll put it like this. They were the primary.
Okay.
And now I'll speak about the community again. Bro, the community stayed at our crib. So
Yeah.
that was my
You told you expert the community.
expert. And the unity part, too.
Yes.
Because listen, man, born in a family like that, you don't have no choice. You're forced to deal with what is here, right? And that's now, right? So whatever that now was, it's like, here, you got to deal with that. So learn it. Like, you know, you got to learn what works. Well, I will add this too. I got a mother. She passed. Well, I ain't gonna say passed. She transitioned on last year, October, the 29th of September, and it hit me hard, yo. Oh my God! Nah, I'm just kidding. I do that because most people that don't know my mother knows that I'm being honest right now. There's no way possible I could just break down and just stop living life. And then, you know, so it's like because of that transition and understanding that before then, she taught each and every last one of us, find your tune to the song and you stay in tune and stay out of everybody else's way without using that term. Because that's how she taught everybody as an individual. So with that jewel and that I mean, it's riches, man. That is what I call it. It's just growing up with that, priceless.
Yeah, your mom sounded like it had to be a powerful person. 14 and having to
it was planned.
Yeah.
She planned to do that before she got married. She planned to have as many children as her husband gave her before she got married because she seen how her mother did it. Had a blueprint. And my father, before he got married, he planned to have 12 children.
Wow.
So that actually lands on me.
Oh, wow.
So I'm a plan.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm a plan it. I was planned. And here I mean, literally, I explain it that way because it's a unique thing. And again, I'll expound on it. And I'll touch here and there. But the upbringing with that, was so unique. With my father being the third, I found out like 3 days before I was born what actually took place with him because my father's a pastor.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know that. You know what I mean? He's a pastor. I grew up in the church.
What denomination?
Progressive.
Okay.
And it's unique. A lot of people, again, I'll get there. Okay. However, that upbringing, I would say again, was a jewel for me because it taught me about community and dealing with people. But it was a very unique experience because study shows that children, when they're born, they get the world view of their father and the conditioning of their mom kind of helps shape who they are. And, so I was like, well, the fact that my father 3 days before I was born was being sat down as a pastor from the church. I was like, well, man, I caught all that chaos.
Wow.
So I came in under that chaos. You know what I mean? Yeah. So again, it's a jewel for me because a lot of growing up that way taught me a lot of valuable things with people and how to deal with people. And to help myself pretty much, but it was to really deal with people because without service, then who are you?
Yeah.
Without being able to serve, who are you?
Yeah.
So, it's a beautiful thing.
That kind of goes into, the work that you do with cinematography. How do you serve people?
Great
video.
Great question. It's a few things it's called. However, what I do is I make sure that the call is because there is a problem. Because anybody can operate that crane. I mean, you can own it, you can have it, but anybody cannot set it up and operate that crane. So that will be considered a problem. So after learning that problem, I became the solution. And I just sum it up that way. And what happens is you don't want to, when you hire me or when you hire my company to come in and do what we do, leave me alone. Get away from me. I got it from here. Mm-hmm. I need you to understand that's what I'm bringing. Not the fact of just leaving me alone. And it's that, no, I'm going to own this. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's enough of that.
Yeah.
You know, and I think what follows behind that is a thing called fear, which I turn into an acronym, which means finding excuses and as reality, or forming excuses as reality. Yeah. An excuse on why you ain't done what you need to be doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So get on up out of the way. That's how we gonna end that one right there. Yeah.
And that's how he tell you, we're gonna end it right there.
Yeah, just get on up out of there.
Now, one thing I do gotta ask you, and I think the last time we talked, this is a question I wish I would ask before. Of course, because I know you from music production.
Right.
And like I said, guys, like I said, man, Gripp is an amazing producer.
Man, thank
you.
He's
sick with the drums, man. Sick with the chops, man. Amazing producer. Yeah. How do you think your experience as a producer connects with being a jib operator?
Awesome. Hey, thank you for that question, I would say, first off, because as a music producer, how that has helped me into, I would say, the jib, becoming a jib operator. It's production. Mm-hmm. It's all production. And I'll say it in the sense to whereas building the jib is like producing the beat. Mm-hmm. You got to have the thing to rap on. Yeah. So, I mean, what are we here to film? Film smooth shots and movement of shots and things like that with a jib. You're talking height, reach. Well, let me produce the beat. Let me create the vehicle. So what happened is I learned from the years. My first beat was in 1997. I made my first beat in 1997. And it was because, it was simply because we didn't have Google. Mm-hmm. I would say unfortunate for y'all. Because it cornered me to go read the encyclopedia. Right? So I went to read the encyclopedia and I said, what's the definition of musical instrument? Musical instrument. Okay, so this right here makes sound. Okay, cool, get it. What's the definition of MIDI? Oh, musical instrument? Digital interface? What? Now I got a dictionary now. Yeah. I'm going to reference these words and find musical instrument, digital interface. Stop right there. Digital interface. What are you talking about? Mm-hmm. Digits. I know what a digit is. It's a number. Interface. What are you saying? Mm-hmm. Oh, it communicates. Head was blown off and it ain't came back since.
We were just talking about that in a previous episode. Mm-hmm. We're talking about etymology.
I mean, literally, the cap never came back on, right? So that experience of now getting in front of a machine and musical instrument and making instruments and making sounds and sequencing them and putting them into patterns and you mean to tell me it's speaking to another instrument to say that when I press that button, all these things move? Again, head blown again. It's like, so that kept happening. So what I'm getting at is I learned the principles of what was going on and what's happening, because what made me get into music was the fact that why is my head doing this and my foot doing that? Yeah. Why? Oh my God, why? It's like I had to figure it out, man. Yeah. As a kid, I had to figure this out. And that was my way of figuring it out. So I had these questions to whereas life situations created and answered the questions.
Okay.
Right? So those principles never left. Mm-hmm. I learned the language. Mm-hmm. Recording, engineering, sequence, talking artists, bars. Okay, I get it. I can apply that to anything. Mm-hmm. So I shot some videos, shot some music videos. An artist came in, traded in a camera for studio time. Sure, dude, I'll take it. I mean, I don't want it, but I'll take it. I take it.
What kind of camera?
Dude, it was a Sony like 10X. It was one of the flap out ones.
Yeah.
The first you flap out, but it had the zoom on. I'm like, dude, I could dig this.
Yeah.
However, I just began to start to shoot the artists that would come in the studio. And I'm not marking years with this yet, but I just start to record the artists coming in. And as the artists come in, I record that, get the music, the music, and then I'll sync it up. I automatically knew how to do that because when music went from in front of the keyboard making beats to drum machine and they threw it up on the screen, again, principle. I can put the two together. I can match the mouth. I know how to do it.
Right.
And I put it together. So I was editing videos before I was really learning how to shoot videos. Which is, again, the principles. So then I was like, interesting. But I don't know this language. So it's like being in another country and I know how to do what I do, but I can't ask for the food because I don't know the language. I can't ask for a ride because I can't speak the language. Yeah. So I went to LA to learn the language. Life situations were happening, things happened, but that led me to going to learn the language. Once I learned the language, I applied the two. I applied the principle. The principle always came. I went to LA with. So I just went to learn the language. And when I learned the language, I applied the principles, and it was like pulling out weapons out of my pocket whenever something occurred, called opportunity.
So what are some key elements to consider when doing cinematography, photography, and videography?
When you speak about that, I come from a place of production, right? I can produce anything, literally. I'm too stupid to sit and try to do it myself, meaning that I know too many people that can do it. So I'll produce the situation, I'll produce it.
Right.
So when we talk about cinema, like these things like music, cinematography, photography, and things of that nature, to me, those are vehicles to tell your story. First, we got to figure out what it is.
Right.
Who you are, again, the voice. So I again, I've actually heard some people give a report back that, dude, you didn't know how you helped me by just being like you yourself at that time and at that moment. Right? So it's like, I understand being in the moment to produce the moment. Because I stand on the stage, the big band stage, the stage of my life. You all are parts of my life right now. Hopefully, I think you guys see the same thing. So therefore, the question is what instrument are you playing in each band?
Moment of life.
Which every moment of life. Who are you?
You have to come speak to the kids.
You
have to come talk to them.
I mean, and see, because I had to understand, I went to understand, I would say that, what is the difference between AM and FM radio, really? Did anybody ask? Because I did. You know what I'm saying? What's the difference? It's a major difference. It's a major difference. I will refer back to his cough, which AM would call an interruption or static, right? It would be prominent. But technology and FM, being able to monitor the frequency of it, the variation of the frequency and how much energy is being transferred versus just the height, and not calculating it, made the difference in what you heard.
Wow.
Yes. It made the difference. And that's why FM became the standard. So that's why I asked, what's your dial? Well, you can monitor it by monitoring the variation of the energy that comes in, right? Versus just the peak, which is what AM is doing.
Okay, I get it.
Right. So it's like the tuning. That goes back to tuning.
Yeah.
One key thing I learned about motors, vehicles, was they're on the road because they're in tune. Not just that they work and you can press the gas and they go. No, they're in tune because the motor has to at a certain frequency. And they have to tune it. It gets tuned. If you look at the logo for Yamaha, It's 3 tuning forks.
Yep.
And they did motors and pianos first, 3-wheelers, but they did pianos first.
Wow.
The tuning. It has to be, it's the sound. So you have to be in tune in order to be recognized first. So if you can't get into your voice and bring it down and create the melodies like I'm doing, like that, who are you? Is the question. Because without that, without knowing who you are and what instrument and not knowing what band you're playing in, you're going to be out of tune, man. And you're going to get kicked off my stage. I promise you, by your head. I'm going to grab you by the head, the back head. You get out of here. Mean it. I'm not even exaggerating. I mean it. You got to get off my stage. Hold on. I'm speaking about my life. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about an actual stage. No, I'm talking about life. Decisions that I've made, choices that I've made. I'm not negotiating that. That's not negotiable. So the thing is the elements is to find that because the grip is where it at. It's the grip. You know, it's within the grip.
I like that. Talk about more about your training.
Okay.
Jib or die. Trying.
Jib or die trying. Hey, well, I tell you what, after getting through that course, you either kill the old way you thought about it or you keep it. So that's it in layman terms. But however, what happens is I designed the course to more so like a life skills situation, not more so related to my niche in career.
Okay.
It's something that you can read it, but I break it down to where you can literally take it and apply it to whatever. So, but what's involved in it is, you know, I got, you know, ebooks. You get ebooks, you get a lifetime membership, you know, community, social media community type thing, to where we share, you know, ideas, stuff of that nature. You get an hour one-on-one. You know, these are things that'll be pretty much mandatory, and also opportunities too. After taking the workshop, you know, going through the workshop, you have an opportunity to come out and assist me on the job. And I don't know what's better than hands-on
experience
and seeing how it works than anything else. So, you know,
changed my life.
I mean,
tell you,
again, it's just to see it, because again, what I did was I put shapes in the air in an augmented reality that I live in. I put shapes in the air and I moved the jib accordingly because people were there on the floor. I had a height of a front of house camera. I had to consider that one. And then we got a wall over here to consider, which is a profile shot. So I put shapes up in an augmented reality that I live in. So I teach people how to see these things, your spatial awareness. Like right now, I'm looking at you, but I see him, and the shades is blocking him, but I still see him. And I know those two is back there. So I have to measure for this. When I'm moving this machine around.
Oh, yeah.
All right, because that's where I kind of use the whole concept of the 50 Cent, you know, get rich or die trying. The concept, if you really break it down and listen to a lot of the stuff that he speak about as far as his approach to it, is there is no plan B. I just got shot 9 times, y'all. It's like, come on, I'm not playing. There's no plan B. It's this or just do it. And that's kind of the approach, meaning that's how you have to approach it. Other than that, you can harm somebody with that jib. That's a dangerous piece when you turn it into something that someone is afraid of or intimidated of or don't really understand. It's just an extension of you. They call it a jib arm. Nope, I rearranged it. I call it a jib neck because that's just me looking around. What do I want to feel? Oh, here we go. Yeah. That's it.
That's really how you direct it too. He's like so smooth with it.
That's
He's like, he's so comfortable. This thing is heavy. It's big. Like, it's people around. It's chords. It's long. It's heavy.
That's crazy.
It's just so much to consider. It's like you when you see it, you're like, oh my God. Like,
it's
you want me to work that thing? Like,
hey, it's a piece of machinery. It's a simple machine. You know, I tell you what, Cameron and Mace, it wasn't name Mace would kill that response.
Oh, yeah. We're not even going to get into that.
Oh my God.
But no, I remember though, now the funny thing about it is, I remember when she told me about the class, she was just like, yeah, I took Gripp's class, and the class is amazing, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. That's cool. It's pretty neat, and I didn't think anything of it at the time.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the kids would like it if they actually see it.
That is, when
you
we do
see
have
it,
that,
you're like, oh my gosh, like your whole world just opens up.
And that's the thing about it, you know. I mean, hearing is believing, seeing is all of that.
Mm-hmm.
When it engulfs everything, because I can look at, I can look at something and I can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear something. Like, I'll give you this example about jibbing and how you need to become one with it. When someone is speaking, like a speaker, how do you think, what's the approach? What would you think the approach would be? Like, what do you think the approach would be? To just filming a speaker. No music involved, no beats, no nothing. Just a speaker. Like, a speaker, when they're skilled or when they're not skilled, they have a thing called a beat, right? And that beat starts when I first see them. I'm studying things about them. It could be from the shape of their head, it's just the fact, literally, because I'm a shape person. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm visual, right? Yep. So the detail comes again, after you got your sample, right? You're a music producer. Yeah. After you got that sample, you done chopped it up, bro. You might have an idea, but the detail is going to come once it hit that beat and it's like, hold on, dog, I got to pitch this. These are details. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at their movement. Whether it's, they could be the handstands. It could be all these. Okay, if it's him, okay, I already know he may be standing. He may not move around. Yeah. She may just stand. Mm-hmm. That energetic, okay, that's movement. All right, I got movement. You may have someone that may blends in between. Yeah. You may have one that works up to the two. Mm-hmm. Right? And you don't know where they're going with it. So what I'm getting at is this. From the first beat of when they come out and walk and talk, they're going to say something and do something to give me a rhythm, a groove that I can follow. I find that flow. From that first, you think about James Brown. What did James Brown explain in the movie? Down on the one. It's down on the one, right?
Yeah, down on
the one. Yeah. Don't sound good, makes else. Sound good, don't it? Yeah. It's the one. So when the one starts, that's the beginning of life to me. Boom. Meaning, think about your birth, like when you, that's the one. Yeah.
So I got a question about that. So do you, going back to the speaker, are there some speakers that you have to add more energy to?
I can't do that. I'm filming them.
Okay.
Okay. What I can do though, if I get an opportunity, if I know them, if I know about them, if I've shot them before in sequence and they're there to take my input, I would only suggest it.
Okay.
Only hey, you happen to it's never like hey, listen here, I'm a jib operator. No, man, come on, man. No. I'm gonna help you understand, man. You cannot do that with me. Do not do that around me. That's not what this is about. Yeah. What this is about is having them to understand, I appreciate you giving me this opportunity. Yeah. What if you're into getting better at this thing? Because I'm only watching you. You're in the moment. You ain't never seen you until you get it played back. So if you allow me to say it, then be quiet and let me give you this feedback. Right. Yeah. That's what the approach is. Because I can't tell them what to do. I need them to be natural as possible. Mm-hmm. Unless we're acting and it's scripted, then you still don't say nothing until it's... Yeah. You don't offer it.
But you attune yourself to them.
I'm here to serve you. Yeah. This is why I say it first. First off, business is built around products and services. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what run the world. Products and services. Mm-hmm. If you've decided to provide a product first, the end result is service, because if your service sucks and you got an A1 product, I'm going to tell you to do the same thing with your service, because you got to get on home. If you decided to do a service first, the end result is product, because if you're providing a service, which is after it's done, it's one thing that people can talk about you about. So it's a product.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it like that.
I mean, so with that approach, knowing that, it don't matter where you start at. You're providing a service. It don't matter which one. Yeah. You are always providing a service.
Yeah.
That's true.
And when you can't serve, again, my question is, who are you? Because who do you think is going to serve you, and you ain't serving no one else? That's how
it's like circles.
It's a thing. So that's why I say it's music. Yeah. It's a grip. It's a rhythm. It's a pattern. It's a phrase. It's all of these things that go together that create something. Because we come from a place of thinking, when thinking has to settle down and become a thought. After the thought, then that right there receives action.
Produces action.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah. Service is action.
So it's like, who are you? It's like, if you ain't here to serve, it's like, dude, come on. So I'm there to serve them. So I teach we are servants first. So I need the person who called me to rely on the fact and trust the fact that, bro, thank you for allowing me in your community. This is what I'm saying. I get hired. Thank you for allowing me in your community. I appreciate the opportunity. Yes, you can trust me. I ain't got to push it down your throat. What I'm going to say is what I'm going to say in my action is this. Hey, can't nobody replace Gripp energy. Where Gripp at? Hey, call him and see where he at. That's all I need. Anything else, I promise you, I will leave for everybody else, because my spot can't be filled by nobody else. So I'm going to keep it filled. As soon as I get out of the way, then I don't want ownership of what I am and who I am. I ain't going to never display that to no human being. I'll go off myself before I display that to any human being. So when I show up, don't be asking me, do I want to be there?
That is the first thing most people actually on set.
No, don't do that, sir, ma'am. I'm going to help you out with that. I'm going to start right now. I'm going to help everybody out that look and seek to hire the gripper. Don't do that, because if I show up, I'm obligated. And your equipment, if I got to use it, is not yours until I'm finished. We'll straighten that out. Your confusion and why I'm there, because that's not your equipment. I just explained you have to become one with it.
Yeah.
If you did not just hear what you heard, then please stop. I will stop talking. I mean that. That equipment is not yours, sir, ma'am, until I leave. Other than that, you operate it. I'm out. You see how it goes?
Yeah.
So that's why I know what I know. I ain't got to shove it down your throat. You cannot replace my energy.
Yeah.
You can't replace me. I don't want to be you. Oh, speaking of you, bear with me, y'all. YOU. I know it sounds elementary and crazy, but that's the point. Look at the letters. YOU. Now think about what it's saying. Why owe you? Why owe yourself an explanation why you didn't take the opportunity? Which is right now, to make better your life, make better yourself. Why owe you? Because I owe you. And the question before that is, what are you doing when me, myself, and I show up?
Yeah, you got to bring him in for the kids. You don't have them speechless. I can't wait. I'm just itching.
Yeah, the kids.
It's music. It's music. I learned to produce as a kid. I would listen to music and break it down. I was a kid that was I was a child. I want to say keep saying, but I was a child that listened to music. And I heard, because I grew up watching instruments, again, as you recall, instruments, it was furniture. It was instruments that was the furniture as I grew up. When I would hear music, I'm looking at the drums. I see my brothers playing that guitar, bass, piano. Hold on. When I hear it, I'm like, I separate it. I'm separating. I'm like, oh, I hear the hi-hat. I seen that. My brother was playing the music. Not knowing that that's multi-track mixing. And this is 4, 5, 6 years old.
Yeah.
This is so that was the training. That was my training, my upbringing when it came to music. So it's all music. It's all a music. It's all related to music. And children, they're in a state up until 8, 9 years old, a state of theta. And they learn under this state of theta called hypnosis. So they're learning by what they watch. And it's easy, like the children, the ABCs, again, it's a story. Yes, it's a song, but it's a story. It's telling a story. Because you're talking to an adult and you're saying, hey, look at me down here. I can sing the song, and I need you to tell me how great I am afterwards. Because that's the question asked afterwards. Yeah. So tell me what you think of me. So it's stories that are remembered when they're put in melodies.
Yeah.
They put in a song. Yeah, because my daughter loves ABCs. She loves singing too.
It has to be. Yes. It has to be. Meaning, I'll say this. Because it is, every story that is remembered because of the melody. That's why it's remembered. It's because of the melody. And we have to learn how to speak in melodies. You think about what a scale and all these things is. So a melody is what got you jamming to the rhythm. Yeah. It's the melody of the song. So melodies is how we remember things. So the best way to get to children is through stories. Think about it, man. Back in the time when humans were dealing with hunters-gatherers era, right? When we had to go out and hunt. And who fire you gonna sit around if they didn't tell the best story on, or if they couldn't tell me, man, I killed this saber tooth. Look at this tooth. I got it on my chest right here, buddy. I know how to kill. You want to follow me? I'm gonna hang out at his fire.
Yeah, it's all a cool story.
I ain't going to the other dude fight. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So, but it's story. It's who's telling the best story. Again, find your voice because you're the instrument. The grip, the eye is in the middle of grip for a reason, because if you don't recognize your instrument is being played by someone else.
Yes.
So you are being played grown up. So I'll challenge any grown up to come to me and say, bro, I ain't getting, yeah, I just played you because I'm saying what I'm saying. And if you got moved by it, you came to play with me right then. Yeah. So, bro, you getting played.
Yeah.
So find out what your instrument is, your voice, which is your voice, and play it.
Yeah. Can you talk about the potential career paths that can lead to the work that you do?
Sure thing. Potential career paths that can be taken. I mean, again, you can get right into film, and that determines whether or not you want to shoot sports, live music. I mean, just government functions, meaning corporate functions, faith-based stuff, meaning just churches. I mean, the Olympic, it just depends on, scripted stuff. You want to shoot movie, it just depends.
It's endless.
Where you want it. Yeah. And that's just in that aspect of it, Jibbing is, it's plenty of places it's taken me around the world, and I've shot every style of thing I just named.
What have you enjoyed the most? Yeah. Out of all of those? Which one has
I'll be
memorable?
Music. I mean, just your music experiences. I mean, the Olympics experience, because that was the first out of the country experience that I had. So it was unique. It was a unique experience, each one of them. But that music, man, just that, because to me, I'm a dancer, y'all. As you know, I'm a dancer. It's nothing like moving, man. It's nothing like moving to music. I think that's that's where all the mechanical, that's where the brain is really, your brain is at its healthiest when you're moving, when you're in motion, because it has to operate. All those units has to operate. So
it's exercising.
Yeah, I mean, so I put it all into one, man, and make the best of it. I just love it. It's the music. The music, live music.
concerts and
live music. Music videos are unique, but the live music aspect of it, and also it can take you into construction, learning this, because the same science applies, just the numbers are different. The same numbers applies when it comes to weight. When you're talking a simple machine, when it comes to the effort load section of the simple machine and the workload, the calculations apply the same. It's just learning the machines. So it's really, you can get into the industrial aspect of it. You can get into it. I'm actually seeking to be certified to inspect those type of jibs.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it goes with it. Yeah. It's amazing looking at it, driving around cities and looking at this crane like, oh my God, look at these things. Come on, man. So inspecting them, I'm gonna get that certification to inspect them, to be able to inspect them.
That's neat. It's just beautiful just being able to hear how like that particular skill set, how it applies to so many different aspects.
Let me share this with you guys before. I know a lot of people don't like to share these things. I don't mind because it's healthy. Madison Square Garden, December the 3rd, last year. Kiss, the legendary Kiss. They're they're not touring no more. Yeah, I have a jacket from it. Like it's big. It was big, right? I build the jib. I get it built. Well, the stage isn't there yet, right? They hadn't built the stage completely. So we can't be in because in Madison Square is a union. So we had to find sections in Madison Square to actually build. So we found a section where it was completely on the opposite end of where the jib had to live. So I'm on the opposite end of Madison Square, on the outskirts of it. Build the jib. We out there just doing our thing. All right, time comes up. Stage is in place. It's time to move up to the section. Get there. Well, we're rolling. I get to the section to enter into the dome. They call cable ramps, where, they run cables by. So you got to, I have a 3-wheel base. It's a crab dolly. Same base. I got to go up the thing first and then rest before you come down. If not, if you just go up and then the force come down, 2 wheels hit, it's going to tilt fall. Got a guy walking with it in the front. I got a guy in the back, and I'm driving it. I got the wheels. Turns all the wheels. So we get on the top. I look to get the guy's attention. By this time, he's turned and he's bing, boom, bing. I had a jib fall. First one ever. First one in the history of the Hip-Hop JibOp, but I proudly state it. Well, not really proudly, but I speak it with confidence to say I don't mind sharing that. You know why I don't mind sharing that? Because I will never pay for that again. Because it could have been prevented. That's the point that I'm getting at. It could have been prevented unless the humans involved died. Other than that, it could have been prevented. So I share that to say that's another part of the business you have to prepare for. Do not prepare for the food to be cooked on time every time. Don't prepare for the delivery to come in on time. Do not prepare for it to not be raining when you want it to sunshine. Please stop it with that. Prepare for whatever and leave it right there, ... Because it will happen. And if you don't, you will be in this for a surprise. And think about what you have done in your life when you were surprised. First off, you couldn't breathe. So how are you going to help the situation?
I was about to say panic.
Well, before you can't breathe. That's why you're panicking. You stop breathing. So what are you going to do?
You need to just breathe.
Okay, that's the first thing you have to
process it.
Process it.
That's not easy to say because people don't do that in that thing we call heat of the moment.
Oh, no, of course not.
No, you can't be around me, sir. You got to go home for the day because you're not paying attention. And that sends you home for the day with Gripp. That will send you home for the day paid. You got to go home, sir. Or you got to sit this one out. You're not ready for this one. It ain't going nowhere. You're just not ready for this one. Because any signs of that are hiccups in a thing that we call groove. Now think about something as delicate as a needle in the groove of a record. Take it that scratch. Take it that AM feel. All right, Brian, with that. Nope. We ain't going to do that. We don't do that. Before we do that, we'll put a nickel and quarter on it, right?
Yeah. Balance
it out.
We'll attempt that before I allow you to sit right there and knock that needle out of the groove.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's about, man.
Yeah.
It's about getting in that groove, man. Finding the groove, finding your flow, man. What's your state? What's your state of flow? And again, I can go any and everywhere with it. The point is that get out of your own way.
Amazing.
That's the meat of it. Get out of your own way.
So with that said, what are some of the current projects you're working on?
Well, I got current project I'm working on now is some tennis coming up. The end of this month.
Okay.
That is fun. Oh, and it's down here actually.
Oh, Famous Circle?
Yep.
Okay, awesome.
I'll be back there, shoot some tennis, and I am working on my book. I'm wrapping that up. I am not in a rush to do something that is going to be a part of me.
Yeah.
Forever, and it's going to stand out. So it's like I've been working on it since I started on it then. So it's like I'm working on that diligently, stand on that. And just juggling a few other things, entrepreneur that I will not speak about, but the entrepreneur spirit started in 6th grade, and man, I've been entrepreneuring ever since. So I learned this key thing though, which I'll share with you guys. Until it's done, don't speak about it. If the people are not involved, don't speak about it. Don't even speak about it to your wife or your girl if she's not really involved in that sense until you get it to a place to share it.
Yeah.
Because it's important to hear your voice and not hear everybody else's voice before you make a decision. It's that important. So it's that important.
Awesome.
I like that.
So, with that said, if people want to find out more about the Hip-Hop JibOp, how do they contact you or reach out to you?
Right now, you can go to the website, www.griptightpro.com. And it's live, it's up and live.
Okay.
And after this interview, it's going to be shut down because I got to revamp it and get it prepped for whatever comes after this, right? Because I would like to get with you guys and put some type of link type thing that's associated through, and make sense of it. You know what I mean? Because I'm about the mission. I try to run away from what I am. I like what my calling is. I learned what my calling is, and that's just to help people get out of the way because I ain't going to allow you to be in mine. So I'm going to help you get out of the way. So it's as simple as that. So, you know what I mean? With those things right there, it's just kind of keeping that in the forefront.
Awesome.
We'll definitely
but the social media place, definitely there. But but all the social media platforms as at Gripp Tight Pro.
Okay.
That's all the social media platforms.
Got it. And I know one of the things is I definitely
Gripp with 2 P's, pardon.
That's very important.
With 2 P's.
One of the things is I definitely want to thank you for being a guest because, like I said, you've always been somebody who's seen the vision of what we've been doing since day one. You're like one of the very first guests that we talked to. And as a matter of fact, like I said, and you've always supported us.
That means a lot.
Yeah. And so we've always been appreciative of that.
That means a lot. I'll tell you again, you guys got a community. Are you familiar with Seth Godin? Godin? Please look him up. The reason why I say that because he was the first guy to market on the internet, y'all. Like before the www hit. Yeah. He was marketing. Right? So when it comes to marketing, this is where this thing about community, like, you know what I mean? This is where I get that kind of understanding by listening to these things and grabbing what works. Because I grew up in a community. I'm 14.
Yeah.
Well, 16. So, but the community, you guys have a community. It doesn't take a lot of followers. There are people I got a video that went viral of me performing my work. Cali Roots 2022. 40 million views. I didn't make a dime off of that. Why I'm saying that is because I didn't start it. It happened, and it's like how it just happened natural, genuine. I wasn't trying to go viral with me being at what I do, what I love to do. Yeah. So I'm asking people to fall in love with what they do. Because in your community, they will trust you. And you want the community marketing you. You never want to market you. I can promise you, my community got me to this place 13 years later. The community I built with the people that I started to work with. The guy I met when I first got to LA, work with him to this day, and he sends me jobs to this day.
I was just going to ask you, how do you find jobs? Or
It's relationships.
Referrals? Yeah.
But it's relationships. You only get referred after what?
The job is done.
It's the relationship. Relationships is what builds it. Think about relate and then the word ship. The point is take relate off and concentrate on the ship. Who you got on your boat? You got somebody on there that's going to rock your boat. You might want to get them off your boat.
It's true.
Because it's about the ship. Again, you're not performing in my band if you don't know the equipment or the material.
It makes sense.
I'm grabbing you by the back of your neck where the collar is and by the back of your pants where the hip, and I'm slinging you off the stage. Guaranteed. But I mean it in a way of politely asking you to, if you're working with me, sir, today is not the day, ma'am. Today is not the day. You're not in your rhythm, not in the flow. It's okay. Go breathe. If breathing ain't gonna do it, you gotta go home.
Yeah.
It's nothing to be forced. So with that, I'll again.
Let's just say the rest of the day I'll be breaking down all my words.
Hey, I tell you what, it's a job in that.
Yeah.
I found it. Again, that's why I said I've been entrepreneur for a while, y'all. Entrepreneur since the 6th grade, since I seen the word wrote on the board and it didn't sound like what it looked like.
Man, so, because I know we can talk all day.
Right.
But this is what I need to know. What were you doing in the 6th grade?
Looking at this teacher write these words on the on the board, and I'm like, I'm bored. Like, I'm creating worlds like of today. Like, I'm having thoughts of today.
Yeah.
Right then, though.
Okay.
Meaning I wasn't there. I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming about, man, one day at least I'll be a rapper, at this time I'll be a dancer, man. I want to dance, man. Like, that's what I was doing in the 6th grade. And then when this lady came across, because I drew. Yeah. I sold my drawings, man.
Oh.
Hold on. From kindergarten. Wow. I was in kindergarten. Wow. Dude, listen. I'm not exaggerating. I used to sell my drawings to the students who needed my assistance to keep the bullies from beating them up. And they used to, no, this is facts. Like, this is actual facts. I came, like, I knew these things. Yeah. Meaning I could draw, like, you can't, let me see, come here. Yeah. Hey, man, you can't bother him no more. So it was like, dude, I was the tallest kid, so I had clout. Mm-hmm. I was a tall kid for a long time, right? But again, I didn't have a filter either. Because I'll test you. Like, again, I'll share this story, like, again, because we're having it, right? Because one thing is what helped out with me is being transparent. You have to be transparent. You can't be transparent later on. People won't respect that. Yeah. You have to be transparent from the beginning. I can trust you there. Yeah. But the guy sitting beside me was a Caucasian student. And this is the early 80s. And you got to understand, this is not too far from issues that we've been having in society, right? Yeah. But I'm like, oh man, oh my God, look at his skin. I grabbed his hand and my handprint stayed in his hand. And that blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, what just happened? So I'm like, what? So I tried it again. Yeah. And by that time, I'm doing it by force because I didn't got overwhelmed by the fact that I can't get, this is not changing. Like, oh my God, what is happening? So the teacher's like, oh, Henry, no, you can't do that. What I'm getting at is that right there, like, it helped me because, again, I didn't want nobody else to beat them up. Yeah. Because it was the student. So I used my drawings. I used my creativity. So entrepreneurship have always been with me. It was just that I never was out to make money. I had the entrepreneurship in me. meaning that I don't want no boss. I don't want authority. I hate it. And that's another story that'll take a whole nother different thing. And it happened in preschool. And you got to understand why I'm saying these things, because we have to be aware more so than careful, because without the awareness, how do you be careful? Yeah. We got to be aware of what we're doing in front of children, because these children are recording. I am a 50-year young man, right, that remembers when I was 3 years old. I can walk you through my mom's house. I'm not like, I remember it. But you don't know what child is not going to turn on that thing of, I'm going to forget what happened to me, that trauma. No. I'm not doing that. We're going to address this right here and right now. We're going to deal with that. So it's these things. It's those things. Again, like I say, it's finding that voice. I had to find my voice. I'm going to speak up. If not, then beat the voice down. Yeah. You can't beat me down. It's a body. Yeah. No, it's a body. Right. You can beat it. Go ahead. But you can't beat that voice down. You're going to hear what I'm going to tell you. What I got to tell you, you're going to hear that. You're going to get every piece of it. Because I can't live with that. I got to go to sleep. Keep that in mind. If you can't go to sleep with it, you might need to go put it down. Go give it to whoever's luggage it is. You carrying their luggage. Right. Give it back to them.
Living rent-free in the mind.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
So it's just that. It's just those things.
So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. And I just once again want to thank Gripp for joining us today on this awesome episode.
I appreciate you guys.
Podcast, and my co-host,
Tamaya.
And then in the back.
Bye. DJ what?
And yes. And
Radio.
Yes.
Well, it was a pleasure, you guys. It was definitely a pleasure, and look forward to any more.
Yeah, okay.
I'm here of service.
We'll be reaching out to you.
I'm here of
Definitely
service.
Talk to the kids, because they need this information.
Hey, I'm just an adult child.
Yeah.
I never lost my imagination. Yes, I put away the pooping in my pants and wanting to play on the swing. I did. I traded it in for possibly not getting into the pen. but the truth to me is that I never laid away my childlike imagination. Never.
Awesome. And with that said,
let's have fun.
Yes, shows. Like I said, just show everyone out there that you love them, you appreciate them. Also, shout out Links Recording Studios.
Most definitely.
Also, space that we're in. If you're interested in booking the space, we'll have the links in the episode description. And with that said, peace.
The Hip-Hop JibOp Podcast.